My special guest this week is one of my good friends who's more like a sister, Shekinah Carroll. Take a look at our interview.
Welcome to the show, sis.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you for accepting the invite.
Of course, I would never decline.
So, what have you been doing lately to keep up, with everything going on,
hmm
quarantine?
Um, I just been taking walks. Like I take like nice lengthy walks.
Mhm.
Um, and I take drives, like just random drives.
Me too.
I try to sit outside as much as possible, and it's not too hot. Like today, oh
Mhm.
my goodness, today was scorching. And then, when I have like some real free time and I really feel like getting dressed, I'll go to Target because I could live in Target. Like I love Target. So, yes, Target's the move.
Target is because
They're
you go
high
in
though. I
Target,
know.
you're like, I'm gonna get
I
one
know.
thing, come
I
out
know. I know.
with a
They have
whole cart
everything in it.
full of
So,
stuff that you don't need.
I know.
Okay. So I have a question about this quarantine. Have you been
Mhm.
eating more or less? Because for me, I gained a few pounds. Because
Sis, I've been eating so much more. Like, I have 6 meals a day.
well, that's still
Like,
like six, like small meals or like
like three
whole
main meals
entrees.
and then three snacks. So it's
Oh,
like,
that's good. That's the
that is
norm.
not good.
Yes,
On a
it is.
typical outside of quarantine, I eat about honestly 2 meals a day, maybe three, but I never have the time. Like I never eat breakfast. Like by the time I get to sit down, it's
Mhm.
like 12, so I eat lunch and then I'll have dinner. I six, I three
That's the
snacks. Like I
norm,
have
though.
all, huh?
6 is the norm. I feel like I eat 12 meals a day. Like with it, like you see me, I put on a few pounds. It's okay to say it,
You look good, sis. You
but
look good.
I'm telling you, I can't. I gotta push my plate
No,
back.
it's crazy. I'm always in the cabinets, like looking at cookies, and then
Yes,
it's not like it's healthy stuff. It's like
exactly.
six horrible meals. I'm like, I can't. This isn't going to be good. The gyms are going to make so much money. Like people are going to be so
Hmm.
happy to get back in the gym. At Walmart there is no more weights on the shelves or nothing. Like people took all the like workout equipment. So
I know, cause I had
that
went to
just
get a
makes sense.
bike from Walmart. No bikes. They had like a little kid bike, but no
That's
adult bike.
crazy.
Cause
That's
I need to
absolutely
do
crazy.
something. Cause Planet Fitness isn't open, and sometimes I don't feel like walking because I'll be lazy in the morning. So it's like, okay, what do I do
That
now?
is crazy.
But
Wow.
so let's
Yep.
get into this ministry, sunflowers. How you
Woo, woo,
doing?
woo. Yeah. So what do you want to know about it? Like just how?
So, like, how you got
Mhm.
started with some? Well, first of all, where did the name sunflowers even like come from?
So when I was pregnant, I was in a really low space
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, and God reminded me through prayer. He was like, why are you crying? Because I was asking Him to deliver me out of the relationship that I was in. And God was like, why are you crying? Like, you're my flower. Like, I created you, I designed you. I was like, I am your flower. And then I realized not only am I His flower, but He's the
Right.
Son of God. Christ is the Son of God. So it's a sunflower. Like I'm just
Mm-hmm.
a sunflower. And so I encourage other women. You can be a sunflower too. You are a sunflower. You are God's
Yeah.
flower. He loves you. And so, make sure that you're close to Him so that He can pour into you. So yeah. Yep, that's where that came from. So that came from,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing because a lot of times people birth things through heartbreak or experience or
Mm-hmm.
bad times, and that's
Yep.
that's what it was for me. I wasn't having a happy moment in the sunshine. It was like, okay, sunflowers. That was like a really dark space for me, but
Mm-hmm.
God birthed that through me during that time. So yeah.
So with the ministry, like, do you find it hard to reach people? Because I know for me, it's like, okay, it seemed like nobody's ever watching me, and I'm like, I'm getting ready to just exit stage left because I feel like I'm not doing anything.
Honestly, if you're not super confident in God, which I'm still getting there every day,
Me
every time
too.
I make a video, if
Hmm.
you're not super solid in the fact that you're just doing it for His glory,
Right.
then it's going to crush you.
Yeah.
And it's crushed me. I've had days where I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? It's okay, God. You know I love you. I'm going to serve you. But this right here, I don't need to be taking my time. thinking about how to encourage somebody just for one person to look at it, you know? Like, and I'm like, God, is this even, is this affecting anybody? Like, does anybody enjoying these? Are there certain,
right?
Like, I don't know. And what gets me is like, there's so many people that make videos about nothing. They're talking about lashes, or they're talking about, their boyfriend's baby mom, and yet, they're talking about how to be a better whatever that's irrelevant to life. And all these people are like putting fire signs and all this extra stuff. And it's like, so for me, I just was really discouraged. Like, God, it's people that aren't really talking about much, and I'm talking about you. And it's not much love out here. But I know that I feel like he's intentionally holding, and I feel like he's intentionally having it like that.
Right.
So that when he does take me to the level where people are calling me to speak and all that kind of stuff, I'm not blown up. I'm still humble because I know how it started,
Yeah.
So I feel like it's an intentional process, not to just have me have 100 people on my first video. It's like, no, we're going to take this by steps, because you're going to get there, because you're preaching the truth. You're not preaching, but you're talking about my word. You're encouraging people. And so I feel like you and me, like, I feel like because he plans on taking us to another level, he has to first make sure that we're humble, and we understand that wherever we get in life is because he got us there. And it's not because I'm popping. It's not because, you know what I mean? It's because he allowed people to be drawn to what we're saying. So that's how I look at it. So I try to remember that. Trust me, in every video I make, I'm sitting there like, God, please. I just did it today when I made the video while I was talking. While I was speaking what he was telling me to say, but my thoughts was Jesus. Like, I feel discouraged sometimes. So I just try to remember that I'm doing it for his glory. And excuse me, excuse me, allergy season. Sorry.
That the Rona thing.
I'll be over tomorrow. I'm coming over tomorrow.
It's like, no.
I'll be like, but yeah, I just try to remember it's for his glory. And if he's happy, then I'm happy. I'm not.
Right.
I can't put my faith in numbers, because if I do, then I'll never make a video. So, yeah.
And that's how I feel. I used to be like, well, nobody's viewing it, nobody's commenting. But I'm like, I always say, as long as I reach one person, that's it.
And that's it. That one person, like, that could have meant everything to them. They might have been about to commit suicide, and then they hear LaRue Inspires, and they like, what?
Sunflowers.
Yeah. Like, I'm worth something, like they feeling special. So it's like, I try to look at it like that. Like, one person, that could have made a world of difference. You don't know what they was facing. They could have been in the car breaking down, and they hear my sis talking, and they like, it is going to be a good day. Like, so I try to see it like that. Is the glass half empty or half full?
Exactly. So I'm a PK. You a PK.
What up, though? Gang.
I don't even know where to start. Like, what is life like being a PK for you? Because I know how it is for me, but what is it like for you? Because I could go on and on. I could write a book. I could write a movie. A stage
asking God why. I'm like, Lord Jesus. I think it's like you thank him for the covering. It's like, I thank you that I'm covered. I have anointed parents. I grew up to know you. I learned about you. I know more than a lot of people do know, because it's like I grew up in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But why? Like, and the thing about it is, I don't get mad about anything else outside of the fact that I see my parents get hurt, and that gets me. Like, we see them emotionally behind doors. We like, everybody sees the exterior part at church, but when we're home, we know that, that person leaving really got to them, or that person making that comment really bothered them, or whatever the case may be. So it's like, that's the side that gets me. And it's just like, we can't go up to people. Yeah, you just spoke to my mom all crazy. I'll be ready.
Yeah. Like, not to fight, but I'll be ready to say something. Like,
I'll be mad. And it's like, I've had people come to me and literally vent to me about my mother. And I would have to stop them. Like they would come across as if they're asking, like, not in an offensive way, but then they would start to say, I mean, do you think my dress too short? And like, it would start like something like that. Like, you think my dress too short for praise and worship? And I'd be like, it's a little short. They'd be like, I don't think it's that short. And I'd be like, I think it's a little. They'd be like, cause your mom's. And I'd be like, oh, well, I mean, then you need to do that. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
if my mom told you, you know what I mean? But it's just like, we're not allowed to say much. And then it's hard because it's just like seeing my parents, like, people don't get, my parents are praying for y'all. Y'all don't understand. There's been
Yep.
times we didn't take family vacations because they're putting money into the church to make sure the lights stay on because people decided not to tithe. So it's like,
Come
y'all
on.
don't even understand the sacrifices
No.
behind the doors. Y'all just see, oh, they preaching word. Oh, I don't like that message. Oh, I don't like the way that, I don't like how why they decide to do the youth church like that. But y'all don't even see that they praying over y'all every day and every night and putting so much of their time and money and energy into just keeping, the house of God right. So when we see that and then we hear a complaint or somebody don't do their little job of vacuuming, you can't even vacuum, but yeah, we got to be over here. You know what I mean? And then it's like on the other side, we got to step in and do the parts that people aren't willing to do. So even though I have a willing spirit, I want to be in ministry and I want to help, but it's annoying not annoying. It's hard when it's people that's not doing their job. It's like, okay, my mama sent me down to the church to clean up because, you know what I mean? It's just like, so I haven't experienced, thank God I haven't experienced bitterness about it in a long time,
Yeah.
but there was a season where I just was like, God, like, just bless my parents because you see what they put, the work that goes into it behind the scenes. So you know. So I know God is not, they're not serving in vain, and that's what gives me peace. It's like, even though people do what they do and they act out or whatever like that, I know that God is going to bless my parents double. Bless your mom double. Bless your dad. You know what I mean? Because of what they have endured. So in our family, we get blessed all the time, like, so even though we're the main ones pushing everything and we got to keep the oil in the wheels, I still see like blessings. Like, we've never had moments where I opened the fridge and there was only a egg sitting there, so yes, sis, I'm with you. Oh my gosh. Oh,
It's hard being a PK. Like, people think it's just like a walk in the park. No, it's not. Because everybody
no idea.
like holds like a microscope looking down at you, like making sure you don't fall, making sure you don't do this, making
all
sure
the
you don't do
times
that.
I
I'm like,
home.
I'm human at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I might make mistakes, I might fall, but I'm gonna get back up, just like you.
Yeah.
And
Even the
I
times
have
like
my moments when I'm like, I'm just not dealing with nobody. Don't call me, don't text me. Like, I've changed a lot with people because of things that have happened to me in the past. But it's like, I'm not bitter, I don't think, but I'm just not that same girl.
And that's good. It's good. I just be telling people like, y'all don't know. I used to come home, have to wait for my mom to get off the phone praying for y'all.
Yep.
I couldn't go right up to talk to her like, Mom, when I used to come home from school, she'd be on the phone praying for somebody. And I'm like, so when I see stuff, it just be like, you have no idea, But like I said, our parents are definitely blessed. We're blessed because we deal with it ourselves. Just having to lead the youth at the church and stuff like that. I would sometimes feel like I'm not ready, especially like when I was struggling with my relationship with God. And I was, like there was responsibilities I had. I just was like, I can't do that. Like, like I'm just not there right now. But having to do it no matter how we feel, and I do it because now I serve God because I love him. So it's not as much of a task. But when I was younger, it was like, I gotta go there on Saturdays. I gotta be there on Sundays. I gotta clean up on Monday. You know what I mean? So, but just
so seeing what your parents have went through and sometimes still go through, do you want to be a pastor when you in the near future?
So here's the thing. I feel like, and your mom prophesied this to me, which I don't mind making this public, but that I would be with a pastor. And I was like, what? Like, but at the
First
same
lady?
time,
I said first lady.
it's not shocking if I was to be a pastor or a first lady because
Right.
I grew up in it. So I would be
Mhm.
comfortable in it, you know. That may not be my first choice, but I would be comfortable in it because I know how it goes, you know, and I know
Right.
how ministry works. I don't know everything, but I know a lot
Yeah.
about how ministry works and stuff like that. So what I could say is it's not like it would be uncomfortable for me where it's like, oh gosh, I never had nobody in my family in ministry. You know, I know first generational first ladies and pastors. They don't have their family was never in church and all that, and they somehow ended up marrying a pastor or they become a pastor and stuff like that. So the fact that I grew up in it helps a lot because I know what to expect, you know, and there's a lot that I would learn, but I know going in like how the ride is, you know. So, and it's a wonderful ride. It's a wonderful ride, you know. You get to be close to God and lead people, but there's a lot, you know, on the other side too. But so yeah, I think you know, I never could see it for me, but I know God wouldn't make a mistake if He was to
Yeah.
do it. And you know, I feel like I've always had a heart for people, um, just like loving people and just caring about how they feel about things and stuff like that. So I think I'll make a good first lady. But yeah, so yeah, that's
Well,
just
I'll
how I
come
feel.
visit the church.
You said you're gonna be busy at your church. You're not gonna have time. You're gonna
I,
be on the stage. You're gonna
my
be
own church?
preaching and
Or
all
you
that.
talking about
Yeah.
my mom's church?
No, no, I'm talking about your church.
You know, I'm not having no. I ain't having no church.
You're gonna be busy preaching, sis. You're not gonna be able to come visit
Now
me.
I don't mind bringing the word a few times, but I really
Right.
on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
mean, if God
definitely.
says, if He says you're gonna pass it, I'm not gonna say
Right.
no. I'm not gonna be disobedient, but you know,
Right.
I ain't running to it either.
Yeah. I agree with that. I
So
definitely agree
what
with that.
what is it like being chosen in today's world? Because there's so many people
These are good
living
questions,
their
Law.
best life out here, doing what they want, and then there's you, you know, trying to
Right.
live for God
hmm
and just lead by example.
Um. hmm. It's another thing that reminds me almost like a pastor's kid. Like it is a lot more challenging, but this actually I think is a lot more challenging. You know, like a pastor's kid. You know, that's just something I'm born with. I can't. Well,
Right.
you know, we're born into being chosen too, but
Hmm.
I think it's a little different because being a pastor's kid, your parents are called. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're called. You know what I
Right.
mean? But when you're chosen, it's like no, God is like, no, I'm calling you. So
Hmm.
now my accountability is because of me. It's not, you know, based off my parents. And so
Yeah.
the choices I make, I know are major. It
Yeah.
can affect me in a major way if it's incorrect or if it's correct.
Hmm.
You know, so it's kind of like it causes you to mature a lot faster
Yeah.
than most people your age because your choices are you have to constantly make sure, and I don't do it perfectly, I mess up all the time, but
Yeah.
I have to constantly make sure that my decisions are okay with God, you know, so that I don't mess up his plan for me because I know that he has a calling. So it's like, okay, God, can I be friends with her? And he might tell me no, but I'm like, but she's cool. And he's like, yeah, but there's some things that I don't want you getting connected with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've had to cut relationships with friends, and that hurt me. Like these are friends from fourth grade, but God was like, they're not on the same path as you, and it's going to affect you if you continue to stay close to them. Not that I can't talk to them, but if you stay close to them, it's going to affect you. So separating myself is the hardest part for me because I always struggled with acceptance, just wanting to be friends with people, wanting people to like me.
Yeah.
And so I had to pray about that and just ask God to remove that spirit from me of wanting to be accepted. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I don't have a hard time like being different, you know. It's like I've gone to parties, for instance, and I would feel so uncomfortable, like
Hmm.
super uncomfortable, because I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. The Lord was
Right.
telling me to leave, but it's like, but everybody's here. You know what I mean? I just wanted to
Hmm.
fit in, but being chosen, it causes you not to be able to do that. So it's uncomfortable, but because I know it's for my good and because I know God just has so much planned for me, you know, it's kind of like the good outweighs the bad. It's like, okay, God, it's worth listening to you and obeying you and following you, but it's definitely challenging, you know.
And it's a lonely place. It can
Yeah,
be lonely at
yeah.
times.
Like
It really can.
you can't even tell everybody about what's going on with you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Emotionally and spiritually. Like you have to be very careful about who you share. You know, I cannot talk to everybody about what I'm dealing with or what I'm struggling with, and things like
Hmm.
that. Like, so just even that too, it's just like, oh my goodness, I can't vent to my girlfriends about how I'm feeling emotional or whatever like that. I could be human, but there you just have to be more cautious, and it's just like you're right. It can definitely be a lonely place. So I'm enjoying it though, but it's definitely God is teaching me. God is teaching me, and it's crazy that you asked me that question because just this week I was thinking about that. Like, wow, God, I thank you that you are choosing me to be an encouragement to people. But
Yeah.
wow, I didn't realize like what I was signing up for. I would have still signed up for it, but it's like, woo, okay, like all right. So God expects a certain thing from us. And I say
Yeah.
us because you're chosen too. So God expects a certain thing from us. So it's just like, okay, yeah, accepting that is just big
Yeah.
today.
I can count on like one hand how many friends I have.
Oh yeah,
Literally. So
oh
I'm not
yeah.
gonna embarrass myself and like say how many I have, but I
I'd
literally
say four. I have four.
I'll say
So
two maybe and a half.
yeah, no, but no, lie, like that's a real thing though. Like it's real. And then even out of those four, like you're closer to me than some of them. You know what I mean? Even out of that, it's like then I still have some that I have my friends, and
Right.
then I have friends, families. You're like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, so yeah.
That's
It's
all
funny
right.
talking to you about these things because you understand to the T because you're in the same lane as me, so you get it. But it's just it's
Yeah, I definitely
exciting.
understand because I just be sometimes like asking God like why me?
Hmm.
Like it's a lot at times. But I
Right.
just pray and I'm
And then it's
like,
like you don't
it's
want
a
to seem
reason.
ungrateful. It's like God, I'm thankful, but this
Yeah.
can be overwhelming. And so that's also why I started journaling because journaling helped me be transparent with Him and
Hmm.
really write out like, God, this is not my day. Like I am just really upset today. Help me have patience and things like that. And however I'm feeling, because sometimes when we're praying, sometimes it's hard to really just be open and just
Yes.
transparent and just really um yeah, just open to God. Like, we see Him as a holy God. So sometimes it's hard to say, God, I'm lonely. You know what I mean? But I'll
Yeah.
write that in my journal. I mean, I say that, but I'll write it in my journal. And then now, as I'm maturing, I'm writing it and then I'm praying it as well. But it took me a minute to get there because I was like, that's kind of weird to tell God that I want a man. That's kind of weird to tell God that, that I feel like I don't have no friends. And that's kind of, but journaling really helped me just be open, really open with God and not feel like I had to hide anything or hold anything back because He already knows, but He wants us to say
Yeah.
it. So, yeah.
I feel like the older I get, the more accepting I am
Hmm.
of the fact that I'm chosen. I'm 26, so it's like I'm closer to 30 now than I am 20.
Right.
So,
And all the blessings that come with it too. So it's like, okay, God, I'm gonna wait for you to pour it down on me.
right. I'm gonna wait on that man. I'm gonna wait. I ain't gonna settle. I'm not gonna settle for
Right.
the what you say
Right.
for the pie crust. I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, we not
So,
eating crumbs, sis. We not eating crumbs. We over here
mm-mm.
eating sweet pumpkin pie crust. God, like, I got your wedding cake. I got your wedding
Yes.
cake. Don't eat them crumbs. That was a word for me because I was busy with some crumbs. Not recently, but I have dealt with crumbs and I was okay with crumbs. And it was
Yeah.
sad, like, so just seeing where God has brought me from, and I'm able to say that freely now because there was a point where I wasn't. I wasn't always able to say that freely without feeling ashamed but a lot of times people ask me why I'm not why I'm so okay with sharing my testimony. And not that I just blurt it out and just, oh yeah, I've been there, I did that, and I did that. I'm not like that. I'm not going to be extra about it or act like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know where I am now in Christ, so that really doesn't matter to me because Christ doesn't remember my sins anymore. So I'm not going to sit up here and gloat and be pitiful about where I was, like, because I wouldn't be wanting to encourage people if I didn't know how it felt to need the encouragement myself.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, I thank you so much for being on this episode of Being You with Lyra.
I made the channel.
Yes, girl, you did. It's just the start.
I made the channel. Since you on a roll, because all them subscribers and all them views,
I'm trying.
I said 100 what? 100 what? Okay.
Views, not subscribers yet. I get my subscribers.
But it's okay because they interested. They want to see what
Despise
we're
my
doing.
small beginnings, my mom told me. So
sis, you doing that. You coming out this quarantine with your channel. You like, listen, I got stuff done.
Yeah. So I thank you again. I appreciate you, and I look up to you, even though you're a little younger than me. Even though you act like you're the biggest sister,
I look up to you. Seriously.
Everybody always say, "Shekinah, how old?" I'm like, yeah, she's younger than me.
I know.
But you're so mature, and I admire you so much.
You are too. No, seriously, like y'all really like my family. Like y'all really are, because the moment where I felt like the loneliest, like that's when God sent y'all into my life. And like when y'all came to my blessing dinner, I was happy for it, but I didn't think that we was gonna connect like this. I was just kind of like, oh, they're nice people, Mom. They're really sweet. Like that's what I told her afterwards. I was like, wow, Mom, I really enjoyed their company. I'm happy they came. She was like, yeah, don't you just love them? And at the time, I didn't really know y'all like that, but I'm like, yeah, of course I love them. But but I don't know how. I don't even know how. I don't know if I think through hair. I started doing their hair, but y'all are real. You know what I mean? You and your mom and Mira, like,
I don't play that fake stuff.
So yeah, but you'd be surprised. Like I didn't realize like how hard it is to find authentic people like y'all. You know what I mean? Like I always thought I was around real people until I hung around y'all, and it was like, no, like they for real. Like they really, when they say they love you, they really love you. They really there for you. You know, I've never called one of y'all before and y'all didn't answer. Never, not one. I'm sure y'all called me because
yup.
But I never called y'all wasn't there. So like, and just you personally, like, I don't know, Lo. Like it's just a glow about you. And I know it's God, but it's just you also have a natural glow about you. And I think that's really awesome because people are attracted to your personality because they see how much love you really have for people. You know what I mean? And even though inside you might be feeling like fire and burning up and somebody irritating you, but you never show it. Like you carry yourself in such a like such a lady in such a loving way where nobody will ever know that you're irritated. Like we be like, shit, you know what I mean? Like
no, so I know because people always say that my face tells a story. So I'm like, okay.
Really?
I try to control my face.
No. And even just the fact that like you step up to the plate, like at church, like you do so much at church, you know what I mean? Like but you're willing. I can tell it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that. Like you want to be in ministry, and I just think I like the genuine love that y'all have is just insane. But you specifically, like, and you're passionate about LaRue Inspires, like I told you post the videos is what encouraged me post videos. I did tell you that, right? Yeah. Yes, I did not have a single video until I saw your video. So don't forget that. I did not have a video because I was like, I ain't doing videos, guy. I'll sit behind the scenes, type something up, put it up, and that'll be that. Yeah. But when I saw your video, I was like, I wish I had her confidence like that,
Girl.
So listen,
I don't know what happened.
That's how it was.
I used to be so shy, and I still have my moments when I'm just like,
no, I think you're just humble. I think you're just very humble. Like you have a humble personality where you don't need to tell people, oh, I got this video and I got that. Like you're the type of person that have a whole mansion and nobody know. Like, but that's dope though, because that just shows your confidence in yourself, that you don't need to be loud, you don't need to be extra, you don't have to be all rambunctious, you know what I mean, just to know that you're blessed and highly favored. So kudos to you, sis, and I definitely love you, and thank you for having me on your channel.
Thank
And I
you
love the
for.
pillow. I love the L. I
Oh,
love the
thank you. Let me
little
show
L.
y'all my pillow. Why she
I
says
love it.
L for La Rue. I have another one, but I only can fit
Copy.
one. So,
Copy.
but
Yes, so thank you.
thank you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Oh, guys. Also,
Yeah.
all my subscribers. Shekinah's doing a 1 week series called Until We Meet on Instagram. So I will put her link up, or
Oh,
not her link,
thank
her Instagram
you.
name up before the
Making me
video is
blush.
over. So ladies, please go check it out. I thank you guys for tuning
Wait, is it, you know
in.
how they be like this? They be like down there.
Yeah, okay, check it out down below, down below. But I thank
Yes,
you again, Shekinah. I
of
thank
course.
you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of Being You LaRue with LaRue. I'm sorry. Until next
Yes.
time, I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.